Today we're going to focus on what's going on in Haiti. So we all know that Haiti has a history of revolutionary spirit, which goes back to the colonial days in which the Haitians absolutely destroyed the French and refused to be held down. Haiti continues to refuse to be held down. And in the modern era, in the last, I would say, 40 or 50 years, this has been a problem for the United States, which has tried its best to disrupt the government and control the country. Now, America claims that Haiti doesn't really have a lot of resources, but if you do your research, it's shown that Haiti is suspected to have natural gas and oil. They have bauxite for sure. They have gold, they have copper, and they have other minerals. So I suspect that one of the reasons the U.S. continues to try to keep the country in disarray and stop it from becoming a democratic country is to control its resources, also to control the area of Central America and the Caribbean, in which they don't want to have countries which could be leaning towards socialism or leaning more towards getting involved with countries like China and Russia. They want to control the whole hemisphere around North America, South America, the Caribbean. They want to control that whole area. So what's happened lately is the next phase. 2 years after, I think it was 2 or 3 years after Juvenal Moise was killed, and it's widely suspected that even though the U.S. government is not directly involved, American businessmen working with mercenaries in Colombia had their president killed. The country has been run since then by an interim government, which is made up mostly of rich Haitians, rich elite Haitians who have connections to American businesses. And in the latest outrage, these guys are going to pay $50 million of Haitian money. Haiti is a poor country. They're going to spend $50 million. Are you with me, Kunle?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you very good.
They're going to spend $50 million of Haitians, so-called, I'm not going to call it tax money because I don't even know if there's any income in Haiti, but they're going to spend $50 million to bring in Blackwater. King, the head of Blackwater, has signed a $50 million contract to bring in 200 mercenaries into the country to work along with the Kenyan Uncle Toms who are already there, and also paramilitary groups from Colombia to police the borders of Haiti, specifically to tax any goods coming into Haiti. And they say that the taxing of that money will help build Haiti and help it transition. And they said it will also help to fight gangsterism. This is another shakedown. A lot of the people who cross that border from Haiti to Dominican Republic go there because they fish and they sell wares and things, and they come home in the evening. Sort of the way people go from Togo to Nigeria to do business, and they're going to be taxed. And the U.S. government says that this is going to help to build Haiti and to help to fight the gangs. All of this also in the backdrop in which Jimmy Cherizier, who by a lot of Haitians is considered to be a revolutionary, a rebel, who says that he's going to keep the country disrupted until American influence is out of there and they have free and fair elections. They've put a $5 million bounty on his head for breaking American embargo with Haiti by receiving money from an Haitian American, which they're saying he's now using the money, small amounts of money, to build gangs. So they've already arrested the Haitian American here. And now they're saying they're putting $5 million bounty on Cherizier's head. And one of the reasons they can't get him is that he's a Robin Hood figure. So it's going to be very difficult for them to get him, even though they put a $5 million bounty. So the main thing we want to focus here on today, Kunle, is this idea of bringing in mercenaries to tax the border of Haiti. Mercenaries from an American company, Blackwater, which did war crimes in Iraq. Now they're in Haiti to help collect tax money to build Haiti. What are your thoughts?
Yes, if you look at countries such as Iraq, Libya, Syria, Ecuador, Venezuela, almost every single country that America has an overwhelming influence upon, or a significant influence upon, that is not a G7 Western country, is the worse for it. There is this colonial template that Britain, France, and America shared that they used to keep these states in a state of disarray in order to reap the profits of the resources of the country amidst the madness and the confusion that is going on, with a few puppets in place that do your bidding in order to make sure that the machinery is working just sufficiently enough for you to extract from that country that which you desire, whilst maintaining enough sufficient anarchy to enable that country not to rise up by itself and have its own organized leadership to do things in its own self-interest. That is the blueprint of the Western neocolonialist hegemony when they look to do business outside their own domains. I don't know of any global South country that has become wealthy or rich or successful doing business with the West. It's only countries that have done business with China that have seen significant infrastructural improvements in their country, be it trains, schools, bridges, hospitals, etc. The West doesn't do that. And that is why there is this never-ending issue. And Haiti, in particular, as I said before, was the birthplace of resistance to tyranny based on black slavery. It was, and it's still the melting pot. It's a beautiful country, from what I understand. That area of the world has is beautiful. Although I mean, it has its monsoons,
Forest,
but it
forest,
has
mountains, beaches. They have mountains, forests, beaches. It's very, very beautiful. Sort of
yeah,
like it has a richer topography than even Jamaica. Go ahead, yeah.
exactly. But I mean, you cannot enjoy the tourism. That's an untapped resource. But that tourism resource can't be tapped unless you have security. Without
Yeah.
security, that just doesn't exist. So there's a lot of potential in Haiti. It's almost like a little form of it's like Nigeria a few steps down the line when things are a bit worse and everywhere turns to Ajegunle. Not Ajegunle
Yeah.
of now, better the old Ajegunle. The new Ajegunle have been down there. They fixed some roads, so it's a bit nicer. But I digress. So coming back to this question of Haiti, how does Haiti manage to resist this scramble for its resources? I think it's actually hapless and helpless, and it's too weak. And there's nobody there that's ready to assist them in their struggle. They need a Russia or a China or an
I think
independent,
Russia and China are
powerful,
trying to work
neighbor.
with them. Russia and China
Yes,
in the early 2020s. I said the early 2020s, 2019, 2021, 21. They were trying to work with them and Cuba through initiatives to start harnessing the oil and resources in that area and get aid from Russia and China. But it was disrupted when Jovenel Moise was assassinated. The U.S. was behind the assassination, and after he was assassinated, there was elections were held supposed to be held a year after he was assassinated, and they said no, we have to do the elections. We have to move it from 24 to 26 because the country is too unstable. Now you're going back saying what Haiti does have is that everybody's afraid to fight them. Kenya sent troops there. The Haitians they're bad boys. They're like Jamaicans. You don't mess with these blood clot. You get my point? No, seriously, the Haitians are do or die. They fight with cutlasses. Now they got machine guns. And apparently, this guy that they put a $5 million bounty in his head, Chezirier, he's a Jimmy Chezirier. I think that's it. Jimmy Barbecue Chezirier. They call him Barbecue. Apparently, he's become a Robin Hood figure. He even meets Western journalists and talks to them. He said, if America wants to come and get me, they can come to my neighborhood. They know where I am. If one man is saying, come to my place, and you're not coming, it means they know that if something happens to him, all of those so-called gangs that they say are criminals will rise up. Because what I'm arguing is that they're not really just gangs. They're actually revolutionary boys. And they're continuing the tradition that goes back as far as France. Can you hear me, Kunle? Yeah, they're fighting a tradition which goes back as far as France. Now, Kunle's out. But what we're going to say is that Cesare may not be a saint. I'm not saying that he's a saint, but for them to put $5 million on his head shows that he must be a very, very dangerous person to the American hegemonic program. Because I don't understand how one man could be worth 5 million. That means he's dangerous against their plan to transition Haiti to becoming Haiti to becoming an American vassal in the next elections. They want this guy gone for that reason, which is why they enacted they put the United States government went and has overreach now to put an indictment on him and say that they want him arrested for breaking the trade embargo on Haiti because he accepted money from a so-called individual in America who is actually supposed to be funding gangs in Haiti. It's a bullshit ramped up charge, but they need someone who's connected to Chezerier to create this narrative that he's collecting money from the U.S., which is illegal. So apparently they can charge even Haitians from doing that if they're on that side because there's an embargo on Haiti. So we're going to keep our eye on this, and we're going to be back tomorrow to continue this discussion.